Gently open your eyes. So today we are going to start with the fifth chapter of Atapradipika. Just to make you understand, this fifth chapter, which is actually connected with the therapeutical understanding, or as it is called as Aushadha Kathanam. Aushadha, medicine. Medicine, remedy. Remedy, there is a problem. What is the problem? In Yoga Sutra, in the second chapter, the 16th shloka talks about Heyam Dukkham Anagatam. Heyam itself means to avoid or to discard. Discard what? The dukkha which it is to be avoided. So here, as we are born out of our three gunas, as per our past impressions, the next incarnation is like that, isn't it? The next janma that we acquire is completely based on our past karmic impressions. The kind of person you are, the kind of person you were, in fact, those resemblances will be there. In fact, Ayurveda goes ahead to make us understand that the gunas reflecting in the mother, the gunas reflecting in the father, even the gunas reflecting in the grandparents can reflect in this birth of an individual. So sometimes I wondered, so what does that mean? So whatever they do as a karma is reflecting in you. So here it is not that the karma of other is reflecting in you, but the gunas of the dominancy in others is going to make that happen, and those connected with that particular guna is going to fructify. Whichever text you read, whether it is Yoga Sutra, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, and many more other philosophies also, we come across this understanding of the three gunas, where it is said, what you are is because of your nature, and your nature is nothing but your three gunas. And what is the best way when Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Nastrai Guna Bhava Arjuna? Nistray Guna Bhava? Just get rid of all these three gunas. So getting rid of these three gunas is like knowing your original nature, knowing your truth. And that truth is our own self. We have to understand, to know ourselves, the medium is this body only. We have to be very clear with this fact. The body with whatever kind of dominancy of three gunas that you are having. These three gunas are in equilibrium in Pradhana Prakriti. Pradhana Prakriti, the Prakriti which is avyakta, avyakta, unmanifested. The moment the manifestation takes place, there is the fluctuation in these gunas. And according to the fluctuations, the person gets connected with the actions of his life. Now, if we are more dominant with Rajasikta, you can say activeness, passionate are the things which are there in you to make your behavior in the very particular manner. If Satvikta is dominant, of course, clarity is there, knowledge is there, purity is there, lightness is there, brightness is there, intellectual discriminative mind, or you can say the mind which can, or the intellect which can distinct between the truth and the not truth, the real and the unreal. That is the sattvic state. But does that mean the person who is in the sattvic state is not influenced by rajasic or tamasic? No. They are there. Unless this rajasikta activeness is there in you, you cannot flourish in sattvikta also. So unless that tamasikta to a certain amount is not there in you, you will not be able to control your progress also. Sometimes we have to understand everything in ati is going to be poisonous, they say. Ati sarvatra varjate. So somewhere in the material world, we have to understand how to make it balance. And this whole thing starts with the physical aspects of our body, friends. So here it becomes very important for all of us to understand the three dosha theory of Ayurveda. We all know, as per the evolutes of Sankhya, there is nothing in that 23 evolutes out of Purusha and Prakriti as 24th and 25th one. And today, as per our discussion, we can say in yoga there is a 26th one also, that is Vishesha Purusha, Ishvara. So these 23 evolutes from Mahat, from Ahankar, from Mana, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Tanmatra, Pancha Mahabhuta. Where is the place for three doshas? So here, three doshas are nothing but the combinations of the Pancha Mahabhutas. Literally, when we say Vata, so something comes in our mind as air. When we say Kapha, we say phlegm. Or you can say Jala, water. When we say Pitta, we say fire. But we have to understand the constituents of the body itself has made these three gunas, and these three gunas are not qualities. These three doshas are not qualities. These three doshas are like forces, like energies, very similar to those of three gunas. If these are three forces or three energies, Vata is said to be coming out of Akash and Vayu. Akash, emptiness, space tattva. Vayu, the air, the experience of mobility, the touch. When you talk about Pitta, it is the combination of water and fire. Now you may be thinking, water and fire, ये combination कुछ समझा नहीं, गड़बड़ है, ये दोनों साथ में कैसे? Though in Pitta dosha, we have to say the upper hand is of fire. Even if the upper hand is of fire, to manage its fiery nature, water plays a very important role, friends. And that's what we say, the pH value becomes very important. The alkalinity, 7.2, as we call, is very important for that rakta, for that blood which flows in our body. If it is going towards the acidic side, there are many imbalances going to take place in our body. Skin problems, dryness, dryness of the mouth, high blood pressure, acidity, ulcer, constipation, you talk about, and these are all coming to you as some reflection with the Pitta dosha. And when we talk about the Kapha dosha, it is the combination of Prithvi and water. So Prithvi as earth element and water element. See, these three doshas, they have their own role to play in our body. As I have told you, the link between the Pancha Mahabhuta and the three doshas, we need to understand how these forces of Vata which holds Akash and Vayu, of Pitta which holds Agni and Jala, of Kapha which holds Prithvi and Jala, is helping our body to remain healthy. They say that as per our Prakriti, if Vata, Pitta and Kapha, they are all in equilibrium, you are healthy. If they are balanced, you are healthy. If there is any imbalance in the tree, you are unhealthy. So for that, we need to know what is our Prakriti. How to understand that Prakriti of ours. There are many ways to understand the concept of the doshas in their individuality. If I'm talking about only Vata, Vata is something which is existing in your body in the form of Panchavayu, or you can say Panchaprana also. All these Panchaprana somewhere are focused. See, this introduction is very important, friends. Thanks to Sunil Bhai, he told me, okay, Sabir Bhai, you can take 2 sessions for this, because this is a very small chapter of only 26 shlokas. If we go through it, we will wind it up in 1 session itself. But before understanding those shlokas, it is very important for us to understand how we as a body are existing on this earth. Vata, which is an understanding of enthusiasm, inspiration, you can say initiation, execution, carrying out the functions in the body. See the various pranas, pran, apan, saman. The apan is with excretion, saman is with digestion, vyana is something to do with the body physical movement or the circulation of the blood. The prana has to do a lot with our heart, our lungs, our brain, our intelligence. Udana, our speech, our understanding and communication with the external world, the kind of strength we allow our whole body to get into and give that rupa to the actions. So proper functioning of the karma indriya as well as jnana indriya, vata is responsible. Friends, when we talk about pitta, there are various kinds of pitta also, as far as I don't remember every other pitta, but there is some pachaka pitta, there is some ranjaka pitta, there is something like sadhaka pitta. These are all, there are 5 again here also.
Bhrajak pitta.
Ha, rajaka.
Bhrajak. And fifth one I am not
Bhrajak is there. It is something to do with the argument, or you can say confrontation or critical side of our nature. That is also related to pitta only. See? Alochaka pitta.
Alochaka.
So this alochaka pitta is something like, governing your vision. Now, suppose today we are discussing about this Hatha Pradipika. Tomorrow, with his understanding of the subject, as he has gone through the understanding of out of the discussion that we have, Shutosh may go ahead and have that critical view of this Hatha Pradipika itself, which is like, what is that pitta which is making him to govern his vision for this writing about the critical side of the subject, because he has his own views. Everyone has his own views. That is what philosophy is all about. Unless and until there is tarka vitarka, we are not going to do justice to the subject itself. So everything with that understanding which is associated with our brain is alochaka pitta. Your appetite, your thirst, your vision, your intelligence, your courage, your valor, all these things are concerned with your pitta part. Now, friends, when we talk about kapha, these are also of 5 types. Kledaka, Bodaka, Shleshaka, Tarpaka. I'm not recollecting the fifth one now. Kledaka, Bodaka, Shleshaka, Tarpaka. We had literally by hearted it during when I was student, but now the moment you become teacher, you do not revise what you are doing as a student. So you should always be a student, always learning and going through it. So this is what coming to us again. So this kapha, friends, it brings about a kind of bodily stability. It is very much responsible for the lubrication of the body. The health of your joints, the compactness of the joints, it depends upon the kapha. तो कभी कभी लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि शरीर से कफ को जितना कम कर दो तो अच्छा है, ऐसा नहीं है. Kapha plays a very vital role. In fact, in our growth as children, the kapha prakriti is what which dominates. When you become young, between 16 to 30, that is the time when pitta dominates. And फिर आप तो समझ जाओ, हम सब उसी कैटेगरी में बिलोंग करते हैं, where vata is dominating now. So this is somewhere we need to understand all these three. Kapha has a very vital role to play with your psychological advantages, the quality or value of forbearance, the quality of making yourself, or you can talk about emotional stability, or the understanding of the stress or mental stress, you can say. For all these things, friends, this Vata, Pitta, Kapha, if we understand, we will come to the understanding what has gone up in us, what is dominating in us. So as I was telling you about the Prakriti, it becomes very important. See, for a Prakriti of an individual, as I was telling you about mother, father, grandparents, in fact, you should understand our Prakriti is dependable on their sperms, on the ovum of the mother, the diet that they might have been eating, the kind of dosha which was dominant in them, and of course, not to forget the geographical locations. हम कहाँ के रहने वाले हैं, कौन से जगह से हम हैं. We have that understanding, people belonging to this region are more courageous. People belonging to this region are more business minded. People belonging to this region, और हम ऐसा बोलते हैं कि the Gujus, the Sindhis, they are very much with the business acumen. और ऐसा हम टर्म करने लगते हैं. तो कहीं ना कहीं इसमें हमारे माता पिता, हमारे ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स का एक अपना एक रोल है, और इसको हम जाति के तौर से या फिर सेक्ट के तौर से हम कैलकुलेट नहीं करेंगे. बोलने वाले लोग बोलते हैं, बट दिस ट्रूली डिपेंड्स अपॉन द काइंड ऑफ वात पित्त कफ that they have been going through, what was dominant in them, and what has come to us in the forms of chromosomes, you can say. So these factors truly govern the vata pitta kapha, will express in the form of your physique, or I should say in the form of your psyche throughout the life. And as in the morning session also we were talking about, okay, whether we can bring about this kind of understanding between sattva rajatama, because what we have got is from the past impression. पैदा हो गए, वो लेकर आ गए, लेकिन वो लेके आने के बाद में क्या हम उसमें चेंज ला सकते हैं? बिल्कुल चेंज ला सकते हैं. अब साबिर भाई को देख लो, उम्र के 30 साल तक सारी आवारागर्दी कर दी उन्होंने, जो काम नहीं करनी चाहिए तो वो सारे काम किए, लेकिन फिर नेचर भी एक ऐसा फटका मारता है, ऐसा लाफा देता है, आप घूम के अबाउट टर्न होके ऐसे खड़े हो जाते हैं और आप देखने लगते हैं, ओह दिस इज द अदर साइड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, आई नेवर सॉ इट ऑन दिस साइड, लेट मी सी व्हाट इज हियर. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये भी तो माँ बाप का गुण हो सकता है, कहीं ना कहीं ये भी तो हमारे नेचर में हो सकता है, जो आज हमको लाकर अबाउट टर्न करके खड़ा कर दिया. और ये अबाउट टर्न वाला जो कंसेप्ट है, this is making you understand that this is also there in you, and now follow this. So the prakriti is always going to be, and under though once defined it cannot be changed. but at the same time, the age, the time, the seasons, they exert their effect. The basic Prakriti, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, is going to remain constant. It's very much like your DNA, very unique, but also a crossover from your parents' Prakriti, you can say. So somewhere which was not dominant earlier is now slowly dominating. तो वैसे अगर कभी समझा जाए, क्योंकि हम सब अभी योग साधक हैं, तो हम सब योग साधक को ये जानना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि भाई आपकी कौन सी प्रकृति है। और ये जानने के लिए अगर हम एक आयुर्वेदाचार्य के पास जाएं तो बहुत ज्यादा बेहतर है। वो आपके वर्ण को देखेगा, आपकी आंखों को देखेगा, आपकी जीभ को देखेगा, आपकी नाड़ी परीक्षा करेगा और बताएगा कि व्हाट इज डोमिनेंट, वात इज डोमिनेंट, पित्त इज डोमिनेंट, कफ इज डोमिनेंट, और देर आर कॉम्बिनेशंस, वात कफ डोमिनेंट, पित्त कफ डोमिनेंट, पित्त वात डोमिनेंट, or sometimes we can say all are balanced and sometimes we can say imbalance. So this kind of various prakritis that we are all existing in, and they have their own characteristics, whether it is vata, whether it is pitta, whether it is kapha, whether it is vata pitta, whether it is pitta kapha, or whether it is kapha vata. The understanding of the balanced three doshas is rare to find, friends. All the dominancy we will see. अभी आज की बात बताता हूँ, आशुतोष सर वैसे इसको माइंड नहीं करेंगे। जैसे थोड़ी देर मैंने ऐसे कहा कि मैडम ये तो इसका मतलब दिस श्लोका इज टेलिंग अस अबाउट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ द चारवाका फिलोसॉफी, खाओ पियो मजा करो। इमीडिएटली आशुतोष सर वैसे, साबिर भाई डोंट से दैट, that was not right for you to say. In fact, they have, this is somewhere it has been distorted, and I understand that I was going wrong over there, so I take the back seat and said, sir, I agree, but of course they are material, that is what is being spoken about here. हाँ, then it is fine. कहीं ना कहीं ये हमारा नेचर है दोस्तों, and everyone, it is very rare to find a tridosha which is totally balanced. But the people who are truly balanced with this three dosha of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, they have the best of all the three. Their bodies are balanced. They are free from diseases. And you know, when all these three things are maintained in a harmonious way, a very good lifestyle prevails. One comes to अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ लीडिंग अ वेरी गुड लाइफस्टाइल। जैसे कि अभी मैं आपको बोलता हूँ कि मंडे टू फ्राइडे ना, somehow I manage my diet। अभी जब से मैडम ने वो 10 गुड क्वालिटीज की बात बता दी है, तो आई एम सेइंग कि जब तक मैं खुद अपने आप को चेंज नहीं करूंगा तो इसको बताऊंगा कैसे कि क्या आज मैंने अच्छा किया, क्या मैंने सही किया, कैसे मैं इसको नोट करूं। तो let me first manage my diet. I will have only 2 times of eating. I will eat in the morning and I will eat in the evening. And if at all I am feeling more hungry, I will eat in the afternoon, then I will avoid the evening one. I will eat only 2 times a day. Now see, automatically the good lifestyle is getting into the practice just by having a proper communications with the like-minded people. The essence of it is making you to change. Somewhere the doshas are getting balanced. When we talk about imbalance, the people who are having three dosha as imbalance, they are unhealthy people. They find it very difficult to remain healthy, to tell you very frankly. They always suffer from one ailment or the other. If at all they experience a kind of feeling of health, it is once in a while like a blue moon. Aha, today I am feeling very good. कुछ तो अच्छे कर्मों का संस्कार हो गया, उस दिन हो गया काम. And as Sabir Bhai is trying to manage his diet, trying to make it stringent, but not following it, wife tells, अभी अभी मंडे टू फ्राइडे किया ना, अभी सैटरडे संडे कुछ तो खाओ, चलो हमारे साथ में बाहर होटल का खाते हैं। अब होटल का खाते तो कहाँ से डाइट हो गया, कहाँ से वो डिसिप्लिन आ गया? तो फिर तो वो तो लाइफस्टाइल की ऐसी की तैसी हो ही जाती है फिर से। वी एज पीपल into day to day life, friends, it is very difficult. We need to understand that it is, even if we are practicing yoga, it's not easy. And before going ahead, as we will be learning in the shlokas of the Hatha Pratipika also, we need to know the locations, the sites. Broadly saying, kapha is dominant in chest, pitta in your abdominal region, or you can say at around the navel region, above and below. Vata is below the navel, towards the groin region and down. So when we say the chest, the heart, or the upper region, these are all coming to the kapha. When we say small intestine, pancreas, liver, and all the what you can say intestinal, digestive glands and all, they are connected to pitta. Then when you talk about bladder, uterus, the rectum, these are all coming to govern by the vata. तो कहीं ना कहीं अभी हमको ये समझ में आ रहा है कि दिस आर द लोकेशंस, दिस आर द साइट्स इन आवर बॉडी. नॉट ओनली दैट, सिंस वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट सम, और जब हमारा आयुर्वेद के सेशन शुरू होंगे तो मे बी वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग एंड लर्निंग ऑल दिस थिंग इन मोर डिटेल. देयर इज ए circadian rhythm of our body, the way it behaves in the morning, the way it is in the afternoon, and the way it is in the evening. So usually said the kapha time is in the morning, between you can say 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock to almost like 10 o'clock in the morning. And it is also in the night. When we talk about pitta, from 10 o'clock to very afternoon 2 o'clock, तो लंच लेना तो इसी टाइम पे लेना चाहिए. 2-2:30 बजे के बाद में it is better not to have, because your pitta is not active after that. See? Then comes the vata, which is dominant from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening. अगर आप 6 o'clock की बात करते हैं तो 6 PM से लेके 10 PM तक फिर से कफ डोमिनेट हो जाता है. एंड दैट इज द टाइम in the evening before 10 o'clock you should go to sleep. एक बार वो 10 PM के बाद में पित्त दोष का डोमिनेंसी शुरू हो जाए और आप जागे हुए हो, it is going to create imbalance. So that pitta in the night from 10 to 2 PM or 2 AM I should say, and then from 2 AM to 6 AM or 5 AM again it is vata. So it is better to get up early in the morning before 6 o'clock. It is better to get up at around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Brahma Muhurtam उसी को तो कहते हैं. All these things, if we are doing, friends, we are encouraging ourselves to come to the balancing of the three doshas. So here I would like to stop talking about the three doshas to this level. If there is anything there in your mind that you would like to add, discuss, or say, and then we will start with the first shloka of the 5th chapter.
Sairabha, it is. I feel it is significant that chapter 5, starts with this discussion of the doshas.
Yeah. नहीं तो आगे confusion आता है सर. You will not be able to relate the shlokas as it is been said. In fact, आपको यकीन नहीं आएगा, मैंने दूसरे चैप्टर्स कम पढ़े हैं, ये चैप्टर्स को ज्यादा पढ़ने की कोशिश की है, लेकिन अभी भी डाउट्स हैं, आज भी डाउट्स हैं. Because it is very difficult to understand an individual with his background or with his nature. Sometimes something else clicks, but sometimes something else will click. So what is going to help you in that scenario is very important for us. So continuous study of the same needed to be done.
मैं जब अभी डॉक्टर भिड़े से मिला था ना फ्राइडे को, तो मैंने आज उनको कहा इस बार, मैंने कहा अच्छा आप पल्स देखते हो क्या? मैंने हाँ, तो मैंने कहा चलो देख लो ना. So I showed him the pulse, and then he said actually कि जो जब फाइनल जो एसिमिलेशन का टाइम आता है, माने डाइजेशन के बाद में एसिमिलेशन का टाइम आता है, तो उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं, उस वक्त जो है मल बनने में और रस बनने में बीच में जो प्रक्रिया है वो जरा गड़बड़ हो रखी है आपकी. हाँ, तो मतलब इन द सेंस कि वो न्यूट्रिशन लेते तो हैं पर एसिमिलेशन जितना होना चाहिए, जितना हो सकता है उतना नहीं हो रहा. तो सर अच्छा थोड़ी गैस ज्यादा है क्या, या ऐसा कुछ ये वो. सो रियली स्पीकिंग, मैं पहले भी देख चुका हूँ कि नाड़ी परीक्षण itself is such a powerful tool of diagnosis, though not the only tool.
In fact, please.
नहीं, please go on. हाँ.
In fact, Guruji used to say that this is my clear understanding and request. The person who comes new to the class and starts afresh, bringing about the changes, before listening to the instructor's instructions, he should know what he is. And for that, the beautiful thing which he should go ahead and observe is know his prakriti from an Ayurvedacharya. देखो, अभी हम 6 लोग यहाँ पर हैं. Myself, Asha ma'am, Ashutosh sir, we all are sitting here. And we all have different rhythm. We all have different kind of personality, different nature. So here it may be happen that Sunil bhai will like to do Surya Namaskar. Asha ma'am will say, oh, once in a while is fine, but I am not going to do it every day, Baba. So she is right. It is her nature. Why to disturb? In fact, if she starts doing Surya Namaskar every day, she will fall ill. As simple. The day when Ashutosh sir said, if Surya Namaskar is not a yogic practice, then why to include it in our thing? Why should we go ahead with that? Unnecessarily, aren't we troubling ourselves with something more additions into it? He is right. He is very right. Because it is his nature which is telling him, let me be only with yoga. But the nature of Sabir bhai and Sunil bhai is saying, नहीं, पहले सूर्य नमस्कार करेंगे. क्योंकि अंदर वो जो राजसिक तत्व है, उसको कहीं ना कहीं वेंट आउट भी तो करना है. वो वात जो चंचल प्रवृत्ति का जो है, उसको कहीं ना कहीं बैलेंस भी तो करना है. तो we all have this nature. And that's why now you should never force anyone to do any practice. Let them do as you can teach, you can make them understand. You should make them practice Surya Namaskar, you should make them to practice Kapalabhati, you should make them to practice Bhastrika. But the moment having gone through that routine, if the other person says, Sabir bhai, I am not comfortable in doing this, don't do. Simple. नहीं तो टीचर्स क्या करते हैं? Why are you not comfortable? You should be comfortable. खाली बहानेबाजी मत करो, चलो प्रैक्टिस करो. ऐसा हो जाता है. वो ऐसा प्रैक्टिस when it is imposed upon, it will take to imbalance. And see, Hatha Pratipika so nicely in the first shloka itself goes ahead and says how imbalance can come through the wrong practice of yoga also. This understanding is very important. Any comments on this, Ashutosh sir, Asha ma'am? Sorry, I am liberally taking your names and pinpointing at you people. So excuse me for that.
So what this also is why this also significant is that yoga therapy therefore seems to be intertwined with Ayurvedic therapy. Would that be
Yes,
correct
very
to
much.
say that?
Very much, very much. In fact, I would say yes. In Ayurveda also, there are certain sections where the remedy is given along with the practices to be done in yoga. And the Ayurveda Charya also says कि according to your nature, according to the problem that you are going through, you should be practicing such kind of practices, because they in their subject itself have the knowledge of yoga. So it becomes very clear that how we should be approaching towards yoga. नहीं तो उठे छुटे आयरे गहरे नथु गहरे सीधा योग प्रैक्टिस करना शुरू कर देते हैं. भाई करो, बट आर यू डूइंग इट अंडर दैट पर्सन हु इज हैविंग द नॉलेज ऑफ ऑल दिस थिंग. अभी साबिर भाई को पूरे आयुर्वेद का तो नॉलेज है नहीं, लेकिन जितना जरूरी है कि भाई हम योग के टीचर हैं, तो एक योग के टीचर को पता होना चाहिए कि त्रिदोष क्या है, त्रिगुण क्या है, ये त्रिगुण से रिलेटेड आपका नेचर क्या है, एक साइकोलॉजिकल जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. सी ऑल आवर what type of person you are, whether you are mesomorphic, ectomorphic, endomorphic, आपकी जो पर्सनालिटी है, वो पर्सनालिटी के पीछे आपके गुण किस तरह से उसको हेल्प कर रहे हैं, सर्व कर रहे हैं. जब तक हमको ये पता नहीं है, तो हाउ वी कैन एडवोकेट एंड से दैट यू हैव टू डू दिस. तो एक टीचर को ये मालूम होना बहुत जरूरी होता है. नहीं तो हर एक टीचर क्या करता है मालूम है, जब मैं कर सकता हूं तो तुम क्यों नहीं कर सकते, करो बोलता है. नाउ दैट इज अ वेरी रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन. That is not the right way. So every teacher has to understand this. In fact, when this thing was discussed at the YCB for examination level, so people were of the opinion कि अगर ये नहीं आता है तो स्टूडेंट को आगे भेजना ही नहीं चाहिए, उसको पास ही नहीं करना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग को समझो, उसको उसको ये जानना जरूरी है कि भाई ये क्या है, लेकिन उसको वो सूट नहीं करता है तो वो ना करे. क्या जरूरी है सबको शीर्षासन करना चाहिए? बिल्कुल नहीं. कुछ लोगों को शीर्षासन करने से प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, उनको नहीं करना चाहिए. दिस थियरी शुड बी अंडरस्टूड वेरी क्लियर. और फिर क्या होता है, कई बार ऐसे होता है कि प्रैक्टिस के समय व्हाइल वी आर डूइंग द प्रैक्टिसेस, we don't know whether we should do or we should not do, but when we are doing it, we will come across the changes. So when the changes and the symptoms are highlighting there on your body, you should catch it up. That's why it is said, do the practices with awareness and discuss with your teachers always. And when you are discussing the problems with your teacher will, if he is knowledgeable, will certainly tell you, okay, fine, do this way, do that way, or you better avoid it. उसमें कुछ ना कुछ चेंजेस करके देगा या फिर बोलेगा ना करो. This understanding is very important for the practices of yoga. Okay. With all this understanding prevailing, we will go ahead and start with this 5th chapter. The first shloka says, Pramadi yujyate yastu vat adistasya jayate tad doshasya chikitsartham gatirvayor nirupyate. The person who is involved in his day-to-day life or everyday practice of yoga, if his lifestyle is wrong, if the practice of yoga is wrong. See, yoga, as we have understood, is not just hatha yoga. There is jnana yoga, there is karma yoga, there is bhakti yoga, there is mantra yoga. So a person who is practicing wrong or erroneously the practice of yoga is bound to contract imbalances. Imbalances are nothing but diseases, and these diseases are mostly with that kind of vata. It may be pitta also, it may be kapha also, but most of the time we will see that such diseases are mostly vata related. And for the treatment of such diseases, tad doshasya chikitsartham, he says, for the treatment of these diseases, how to course the vayu, how to manage the flow of prana. See, the flow of prana, when we say flow of prana, we usually reflect it with our inhalation and exhalation. For us, our prana means inhalation and exhalation. But prana is much more beyond that. The way you are inhaling and exhaling, whether it is correct breathing or not, will affect your lungs. If it is proper breathing, of course, your vitality will be retained. If it is improper breathing, there are chances that you may end up having breathing problems. And if there is problem in prana, It will reflect in other pranas also, like samana prana. So indigestion may come in slowly. Something like gas accumulation will happen. Then something like constipation will take place. Something like weakness in the legs will take place. Slowly, slowly, the thing will get on going ahead. That person may not be just breathing incorrectly. तो जब भी हम कहते हैं ना कि पीठ को सीधा रखकर बैठो, कंधों को बराबर रखो, चिन को जमीन से पैरेलल रखो, कहने का मतलब क्या है? If you keep your spine erect in its natural curvature, you are helping your lungs to do proper breathing. But at the same time, if you see, when we sit at the computer, when we work on the computer, the way our back is slouched, in that period of 1 hour, 2 hours, as you are focused on the computer, ऐसे करके, do you think that correct breathing might have taken place during that 2 hours? No. Why? Because the chest is not getting that kind of understanding as you breathe in, breathe out. ये तो एक example था. In the very similar manner, many things because of the lifestyle, stressful lifestyle, wrong eating habits, wrong sleeping habits, wrong kind of doing work, wrong time of getting up and wrong time of going to sleep. These are the certain things which makes you disturbed. So here, if at all such things are happening to you, let us try to understand what we are supposed to do with respect to yoga. In fact, as I have been telling earlier also, okay, just close your eyes, try to keep your spine erect. Wherever you have the problem, just let your breathing connected to that problematic region, and within few seconds or few minutes, you will find that you are able to manage that problem to a great extent. Why? Because your prana has helped you to take care of that pranic fluctuations which have taken place in that region, where it has been blocked, where the energies have not been circulating properly, maybe in the form of blood, maybe in the form of lymph, or maybe in the form of nervous communications, the sensory and the motor. So this simple closure of your eyes, observing your breathing. And here in the 5th chapter, this fellow goes on to gives us the understanding of Ujjayi breathing, how it is going to help, Shavasana, how it is going to help, massaging, how it is going to help. So he comes out with various options and makes us understand. Let us go ahead with that. Vayur urdhva प्रवृत्तस्य गतिं ज्ञात्वा प्रयत्नतः कुर्यात् चिकित्सां दोषस्य द्रुतुं योगी विचक्षणः. Skillfully diagnosing the course of the risen vayu, the alert yogi should start treating the disease without delay. Many a times it happens, friends, कि one of my student will come and say, sir, पता नहीं कल की practice की वजह से थोड़ा सा ऐसा disturbance feel हो रहा है. What I tell you, in the first place, don't do any practice. Sit quietly and listen to your breaths. Listen to your breaths. What we have done, we have not made that person to do the practice what he was doing earlier. What next we have done, we have made that person to take a break. Third thing, we are asking him to just allow the things to settle down on its own. The body has its own ability. See, God has gifted us with this body which has its own ability to correct the imbalances. But we are the one who are not allowing it because of our attachment or attractions towards the things around us, to not allow it to heal. So here he very clearly says, skillfully try to understand the course of the Vayu, which might have got dissipated, risen, or disturbed. The alert yogi should start treating the same, treating the problem without delay. And he says, what is the location of all the Vata, as I have been telling you about? Talapada Nabi Deshe Vata Sthanam Udiritam. Anabhe Hridayam Yavat Pittakoshtam Prakrutitam. From the soul, of the foot to the navel region is said to be the region of Vata. From the navel to the chest, at the most to the diaphragmatic region, it is said to be the region of Pitta. And in the next shloka, he says, Hriday deshad urdhva kayastu श्लेष्म धातुर ही उच्चते इति त्रयाणाम धातूनाम स्वम स्वम स्थानम उदीरितम. Now the shleshma, that means kapha, this kapha dhatu or the kapha dosha is said to be residing in the parts of the body above the region of the chest, from the chest and above. Thus is stated the respective region of the three Ayurvedic humors, you can say. So the three dosha region you have clearly understood. From the sole of your foot below the navel or up to the navel is Vata. From the navel up to the diaphragm or to the chest, you can say, you can even go ahead and say mid chest. It is Pitta. And from that to above is known as Kapha. So this is clear to everyone? Yes. Now, as we have already discussed, okay, how the imbalance is going to bring about various problems. Now that is what is going to be explained over here. Pramadad yogino vayur unmargena pravartitah tada marg manasadya granti bhutva vatishtate tada nana vida roga jayante vignakarakaha. So these are the obstacles of various problems coming to you. How they are coming to you? Because of the wrong lifestyle, because the wrong gesture, because of the wrong practice of yoga, the Vayu goes astray. Vayu unmargena pravartitah. It loses its way. The way it is supposed to flow, the channels it is supposed to flow, it may not be doing accordingly. And what happens? It may get accumulated at one stop, at one spot. Tada margamanasadya granthir bhutva vatishthate. Then develop some kind of diseases. If it gets accumulated, if it gets blocked at one or the other spot, what is going to happen? The imbalance will fructify and you will find that the diseases are experienced. So you will be finding that all sorts of diseases related to such kind of obstacles are getting into your body. As this is becoming clear, don't you think that this is also a message for all of us that yoga is not only the practice of asan, pranayam, bandha, mudra, or dhyana dharana, but at the same time, yoga is also proper dincharya, rutucharya, proper diet also. As simple. Unless and until these things are managed in their own way, we will not be doing justice to the other factors of our life. नहीं तो कई बार प्रॉब्लम कहाँ होता है कि people come with imbalances to yoga after being turning away or not turning away. Actually the doctor says, see, the medicine which I am giving is certainly helping you, but at the same time you need some adjuvants also. What are those adjuvants? Lifestyle changes. अब वो बोल बोल के थक जाता है कि आप ये चेंजेस करो, पेशेंट ऑब्जर्व नहीं करता है, पेशेंट बोलता है गोली दो. अब वो साबिर भाई के जैसा डॉक्टर रहेगा तो एक ही गोली दे देगा, वो खत्म, काम तमाम. But at the same time, that is not the thing. So here, truly telling you, sometimes people see, this is my nature, you know. मैं थोड़ा बेसब्री बंदा हूँ और सामने वाले को 10 बार बताने के बाद में भी अगर उसके मत्थे वो बात पड़ती नहीं है तो साबिर भाई भड़क जाते हैं. एंड देन टेल्स दैट पर्सन, दिस इज माय नेचर दैट आई एम नाउ शाउटिंग एट यू. अब तुमको बात समझ में नहीं आती तो मेरे पास आना भी नहीं. डोंट कम टू माय क्लास ऑल्सो. वो बोलते हैं यार कैसा योगा टीचर है तुम, ऐसा कोई बोलता है क्या? But when you are not listening to what I am saying, then how I am going to help you out? If you want me to help you, you have to do what I am telling you. If you are not doing it, then what is the point in coming to me? You are wasting your time, energy, paisa, everything. So please listen to me. You have to do this. और जब ऐसे बोलने के बाद भी जब पेशेंट समझता है, पेशेंट बोलने से अच्छा है पार्टिसिपेंट बोलते हैं, पार्टिसिपेंट इस बात को समझता है, तो the things can be seen and you also feel good. Yes, now he is following the things and the changes are taking place. And that reflects on us to become more calm and quiet. क्योंकि मैंने देखा है थेरेपी के अंदर मैं जितना चिढ़ जाता हूँ उतना नॉर्मल क्लास के अंदर चिढ़ता नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि कई स्टूडेंट्स को 10 बार बताने के बाद में भी वही गलतियां करते हैं। तो फिर याद आता है गुरुजी के शब्द आते हैं, साबिर अगर कभी वो सब अच्छे होते तो बीमार क्यों होते, वो ऐसे ही रहेंगे। आज वो बीमार इसलिए है क्योंकि उनके अंदर ये प्रॉब्लम्स है, तुम क्यों चिढ़ते हो। मैं बोला सर क्या करूं, मेरा नेचर है। तो सर ने एक ही बात कही, इसका मतलब तुम भी बीमार हो। एज सिंपल ही सेड। मैं बोला सर ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा है। बोले मैं हकीकत बता रहा हूँ, यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट। आई एम नॉट जोकिंग हियर, ही सेड। अगर तुम चिढ़ रहे हो, तुमको गुस्सा आ रहा है, तो ये समझ जाओ कि बीमारी तुम्हारे अंदर है। सामने वाले में तो है ही है, लेकिन तुम में भी है। और सामने वाले की बीमारी को देखकर तुम में जितना पेशेंस डेवलप होगा, तुम जितने सेटल हो जाओगे, तो ऐसे समझना कि तुम भी हील हो रहे हो। तो माय पेशेंट्स आर लाइक हीलिंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स फॉर मी। दे टीच मी टू हाउ टू हील माई सेल्फ। दिस इज फॉर एवरीवन फ्रेंड्स। थेरेपी इज समथिंग विच जस्ट कैनॉट बी सेड, तुमको बैक प्रॉब्लम है भुजंगासन करो, ऐसा नहीं है। थेरेपी इज नॉट दैट। Therapy is something which is coming to us only one-to-one understanding of the other person. कभी कभी तो एक एक पेशेंट को 3-3 दिन, 4-4 दिन, 5-5, 6-6 घंटा काउंसलिंग ही करनी पड़ती है। तो वो बोलते हैं सर आप मुझे योग कब बताने वाले हैं। अभी टाइम नहीं आया आपको योग बताने का, पहले मैं तो समझूं कि तुम्हारा योग क्या है, तब मैं तुमको योग बता सकता हूँ। अब मुझे ही पता नहीं कि तुम्हारा योग क्या है, तो मैं कैसे तुमको बताऊं। So next time come again, I will have discussion with you some other aspects. तो हमको एक एक बारीकियों में उतरना पड़ता है। And when we understand the participant with his nature, with his lifestyle, eating habits, talking habits, walking habits, working habits, and his perception towards the world, how much spiritual he is, how much material he is, what kind of selfishness he is possessing to himself. कभी कभी ये भी पूछना पड़ता है, कभी जिंदगी में दान धर्म किया है, कभी मंदिर में जाके हाथ जोड़ा है, कभी आंख बंद करके कहीं बैठा है, ऐसा भी पूछना पड़ता है। तो वो बोलता है बिल्कुल नहीं। तो जब वो बिल्कुल नहीं बोलता तो आंसर कम है, आई हैव टू इंटरप्रेट इट इन माय माइंड एंड से, ऐसा बोल नहीं सकता कि अरे कैसा आदमी है, ऐसा वी कैन नॉट से। वी हैव टू जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन दैट इज एंड वी हैव टू एब्जॉर्ब कि अब मुझे इसको प्रैक्टिस कौन सी देनी है। अगर इसको मुझे भक्ति भाव में लाना है, इसको मंदिर के वहां जाकर इसको मस्तक सिखाना है, तो मुझे प्रैक्टिस कौन सी सिखानी है। पहले इसको झुकना तो सिखाऊं, बाद में ये मंदिर जाएगा, तो इसको झुकने के लिए कौन से आसन सिखाऊं। See the way the therapy changes, the way the practices comes in us to advocate it to that person. Unless you know him, how you are going to do it? Otherwise, all the classes like in the group classes, when we say the most worst classes that we teachers take are the group classes. गाय भैंस बकरी बछड़ा सब एक साथ में रहते हैं उसमें, और सबको एक ही जैसा हम तोलते हैं और वैसे ही उनके साथ में काम करवाते हैं। दैट इज द वर्स्ट वे वी टीच। If we want to understand that aspect, we need to understand this beautiful understanding of the therapy. Unless and until we understand this therapy, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and their implications on the body and the way the person behaves in the day-to-day life, it becomes difficult. So after knowing the regions of Vata, Pitta, Kapha, after knowing what is responsible, that if by some error in the lifestyle, the Vayu goes astray here and there, gets dissipated, losing its way, and accumulates at certain point of the body, then yes, that is the time when the diseases starts developing in our body, and we need to understand if these are the diseases, what are the steps we are going to take ahead. So this general understanding I have given to you. Any discussion from your side? Are you getting hold of the same?
वैसे साबिर भाई,
जी
थेरेपी के सिचुएशन में अंगुलीमाल की कथा हमेशा याद रखनी चाहिए, है ना। जब भगवान बुद्ध ने उस जैसे पेशेंट को भी एक इंटरेक्शन में 180 डिग्री चेंज कर दिया था।
उसके
वही
लिए पहले
जैसे
बुद्ध
आपने
बनना पड़ेगा सर।
वही तो वही तो जैसे आपने कहा, पेशेंट्स आर ऑल इनविटेशंस फॉर द टीचर टू इवॉल्व।
See, I have evolved from them only. Let me give credit to my students only. Whatever I am today, it is because of my students. They have made me what I am today. They have encouraged me to read more text. They have encouraged me to understand more people in the other ways of understanding them. As you said, very true. और क्योंकि साबिर भाई बुद्ध तो है नहीं ना, और हम सबको कहीं ना कहीं वो लेवल पे आना होगा। जब तक हम वो लेवल पे नहीं आते तो हम अंगुलीमाल को कैसे चेंज करेंगे? एज यू सेड, वेरी ट्रू। आशुतोष सर, यू आर गेटिंग होल्ड ऑफ द सेम। आशुतोष सर, कैन यू हियर मी?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
fine.
Yes.
Let us go to the next shloka. That is number 6. Tesham chikitsam vakshyami yathoktam tantra vedibihi. Now here he is saying, let me tell you the treatment as taught by those who know the technique. Now this statement itself makes it very clear that the Hatha Yogis were the people who were not working only on their method of Tantra, but they were also having the knowledge of Vata, Pitta, Kapha with respect to Ayurveda, and they were understanding the nature of a person and how the very much Moola Prakriti is acting in the body in the various form. Moola Prakriti, Sattva, Rajatama, in the various form, how your nature is exhibiting. And accordingly, they were formulating the treatment theory. And with the treatment modalities, he says, now let me tell you about those as taught by those who know the proper technique. Unmargam prasthito vayuhu pitta koshte yada stitaha Hrichulam, Parshvashulam, Chaprustashulam, Chajayate. Now he is telling us if something is imbalanced, where the symptoms will be highlighted. So when the Vayu is going astray, the Vayu is getting dissipated, and it is situated in the region of Pitta, and there will be pain in the chest, there will be pain in the sides, or maybe you will develop a backache because of the disturbance of the Vayu. Just imagine you are getting gas accumulation in the stomach. Because of this gas, you may have headache, you may have some pain in the chest, or you may feel because of that acidity some pain in the chest, and a person may get frightened up. Oh, kahin mujhe heart attack to nahi aaya? But it is a simple pain of acidity. Such kind of pain or strain may take place in the back also. So he is giving us when the Vayu is going astray into the Pitta region. Now, which is the Pitta region? From the navel to the chest. If it is going astray here, dissipated here, then you have to understand the problems related to backache, the problems related to pain or some kind of discomfort in the chest, or some related on the sides, Parshvashulam. So these are the symptoms that is needed to be understand when the disturbance is taking place with respect to Vayu in the Pitta region. And then he gives the remedy. What is the remedy? Tail abhyangam tada pathyam snanam cha ushnena varina. Tail abhyangam. You should give the body massage with the oil. Pathyam snanam. You should take hot water bath cha ushnena varena. You should take hot water bath or at least warm water compression is advised. And then he says saghrutam payasam bhuktva jine jirne anne yogam abhyase. One should practice yoga after light food with milk and ghee is eaten and digested. अब पित्त में वायु का प्रॉब्लम, बॉडी के ऊपर तैल अभ्यंग. अगर कभी कोई आएगा, सर मेरे पेट में दर्द है, और मैं उसको बोलूंगा तेल से अपनी मालिश करो, वो बोलेगा अरे तेल से क्यों मालिश करो, ऐसा उसके दिमाग में आएगा. तो दिस इज समथिंग वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कमिंग इट फ्रॉम द प्रॉपर आयुर्वेदाचार्य. तो यहां पर स्वात्माराम जी ने कोशिश तो की है, बट I will literally not go only with the words of Swatmaram ji. I will try to understand the anatomy and physiology behind that problem. And tomorrow, friends, as we will be learning more about Ayurvedic concepts, we may be coming across these suggestions and understandings where it will be telling us that you need to understand this problem in this manner. These are the symptoms. These are the things which we need to be very clear about, as it is going to help us and bring about the remedial factors, bringing about the application of the remedy. And then he says, of course, you should be practicing yoga, but how? After having light food with milk and ghee, eaten and digested. Jirnena anne. Not only you are eating it, he says, saghrutam payasam bhuktva. No, not only you are eating it, but at the same time you are getting it digested. अब डाइजेशन प्रोसेस क्या है? कई लोगों को दिमाग में क्या आएगा मालूम है, क्या ऐसा खा के योग का प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए? नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर. आपने ऐसा खाना खाया, 3 से 3.5 घंटे का मिनिमम गैप है. अगर 4 से 4.5 घंटे का गैप है तो बहुत अच्छा है. और उसके बाद में फिर आपको बताए गए योग का अभ्यास करना है. और आगे वो हम कहते हैं, यस्मिन् यस्मिन् यदा देशे रोजा बाधा प्रजायते तस्मिन् देशे स्थितं वायु मनसा परिचिन्तयेत्. The fact which I was telling you, to take your mind towards that region which is affected and allow your mind to be focused on your breathing. Whenever any region is afflicted by disease, one should concentrate on the vayu stuck up in that region. You have to just allow your mind to be focused with respect to your breaths in that region. Ekachittena tadhyatva purayet purakena tu निशेष रेचकम कुर्यात यथाशक्त्या प्रयत्नतः. यथाशक्ति. With focused mind, as we are going ahead, we should be like, meditating upon that vayu in that region, and we should fill the lungs. Ekachittane tadhyatva purayet purakena tu. Now you do the puraka. Fill your lungs with the air by doing inhalation, and then slowly exhale out. Nishesha rechakam kuryat. Complete exhalation should be done, and should be effortfully done in such a manner as if you are observing only according to your capacity. मैंने ना कई योग टीचर को ऐसा कहते हुए सुना है, अरे क्या प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, अपने प्रैक्टिस में जान डालो, जान, ऐसा बोलते हैं वो. तो मुझे जाके पूछना पड़ता है, ये जान डालो का मतलब क्या है बाबा? क्या क्या मतलब से तुमने बोला जान डालो? अरे सर देखिए ना कैसे प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है, एकदम सुस्त होके. इस तरह से कोई योग का प्रैक्टिस करता है क्या? तो उसका नेचर वैसा है. यू कैनॉट से हिम टू बिहेव लाइक यू. तुम्हारे अंदर बहुत जानदार है भाई, उसके अंदर जो जान है वो बैलेंस्ड है. ऐसा बोलना पड़ा उस टीचर को. वो अपने हिसाब से अपने लक्षण दिखाएगा, वो अपने हिसाब से अपने एक्शन करेगा. तो कभी कभी टीचर ऐसे कहता है, तुम कपालभाति कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा पेट हिलता हुआ मुझे दिख ही नहीं रहा. इनफैक्ट टीचर को क्या करना चाहिए, अपना हाथ ले जाके उसके नाक के पास रखना चाहिए और ये देखना चाहिए कि क्या वो सटल तरीके से जो भी कपालभाति के स्ट्रोक दे रहा है, क्या वो अपने हाथ पर उसके श्वसन को स्ट्रोक की तरह फील कर रहा है या नहीं. दैट इज द राइट वे टू अंडरस्टैंड वेदर दैट पर्सन इज डूइंग कपालभाति इन अ प्रॉपर मैनर और नॉट. नहीं तो हम कहाँ देखते हैं पेट की तरफ, हाँ पेट हिल रहा है मतलब कपालभाति कर रहा है. अरे गलत तरीके से तो हो सकता है. तो समवेयर दिस इवैल्यूएशन बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. और हमारे वाईसीबी के कोर्स में लेवल 3 के जो जिस तरह से इवैल्यूएशन होता है, यही चीजें देखने के लिए कहा जाता है कि भाई सामने वाला प्रैक्टिस सही तरीके से कर रहा है या नहीं करना है. आप इसको किस तरह से इवैल्यूएट करेंगे, कैसे समझेंगे आप. मान लो कि वो कपालभाति कर रहा है, कपालभाति बराबर कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है, कैसे पता चलेगा आपको. चेहरे पे शिकन नहीं होनी चाहिए, चेहरे पर खिंचाव नहीं होना चाहिए. नहीं तो कभी नाक को खींच रहे हैं, कभी होठ को दबा रहे हैं, कभी आंखों को भींच रहे हैं और एक्सपल्शन करते जा रहे हैं. दैट इज नॉट राइट वे ऑफ कपालभाति. हम उसको पूछे ये सब सब आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है. आप जब आप एक्सपेल करते हैं, सर आपने तो बोला हवा अच्छे से बाहर आना चाहिए तो मैं ताकत लगा के छोड़ रहा हूं. अरे बाबा ऐसा नहीं है. अच्छे से छोड़ रहा हूं का मतलब तुम्हारे एबिलिटी और कैपेसिटी के हिसाब से. अननेसेसरीली फिजिकल मसल्स को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करके आपको एक्सपेल नहीं करना है. वो ज्यादा ताकत लगा दिए जैसा हो गया. तो ताकत लगाकर काम मत करो. जितनी तुम्हारी एबिलिटी कैपेसिटी है उससे 10% कम करोगे चलेगा, लेकिन 10% ज्यादा रखोगे तो गड़बड़ होगी. और आज के डेट में 90% लोग जो योग का अभ्यास करते हैं वो 10% नहीं 100% ज्यादा करके करते हैं. ऑब्वियसली they are going to experience some or the other problems. So here the clarity is been given. यस्मिन् यस्मिन् यदा देशे रोजाबाधा प्रजायते तस्मिन् देशे स्थितम वायु मनसा परिचिन्तयेत्. और आगे वो कहते हैं एक चित्तेन तद्ध्यात्वा पूरयेत पूरकेण तु निशेष रेचकम कुर्यात् यथाशक्त्या प्रयत्नतः. According to our ability and capacity, one should inhale and exhale. As it is like doing pranadharana concept, which I always talk about and tell you. And in the next slok he says bahuda bahuda rechakam krutva purayitva punah punah karshayet prakasthitam vayum karnatoyam ivambuna. After making repeated exhalation and inhalation, one should pull out the accumulated vayu. Means what? The dissipated vayu, the blocked vayu should brought into the movement. Here he has given one example as the water lurking in the ear when you are going for a snan or something like that. गलती से पानी चला गया कान में, तो उसको कैसे निकाला जाता है? और थोड़ा पानी डालकर उसको निकाला जाता है. पानी पानी को अट्रैक्ट करके उसको पुल करता है. तो ही इज गिविंग अस द एग्जाम्पल कर्षयेत प्राकुस्थितम वायुम कर्णतयो अयम इवाम्बुना. तो इन द वे द vayu is as water, the accumulated vayu, you should pull out the accumulated vayu. As the water lurking in the ear is drawn out by putting some more water into it and that water comes out. तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर आपको पीठ में दर्द है, पीठ में एक प्रकार का स्पाज्म आ गया है, तो यू डू यथाशक्ति निरंतरम practice of breathing, focusing on that region. As this breathing concentrated on that back region where you have felt the spasm or the catch have been held, you will find the loosening of the grip of the catch and that strain will be released. It will take time, but you have to do more focused breathing in this way. प्रायः स्निग्धम आहारम च इह भुंजित योगवित् एवं शूलादयो रोगाः शाम्यन्ति वात पित्तजाः. In most of such cases, the proficient yogi, the one who is having the knowledge of the subject, must eat lubricated food, snigdam aharam. In this way, disease like colic, which is an abdominal disease produced by the imbalances of or the disturbances of vata and pitta, are removed or alleviated. So this is how he is giving us the options how to overcome the issues related to Vata Pitta in our body and how diet is going to help us. So प्रायः स्निग्धम आहारम च इह भुंजित योगविद. कई बार ऐसे होता है ना कि पर्सन इज अफेक्टेड, जैसे कि सर्दी खांसी बहुत हो गई है, तो अगर आप एक डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं तो दैट डॉक्टर, इफ ही इज एन आयुर्वेदाचार्य, he will say, okay, this is the case. Then in order to go ahead and treat this problem, I would tell you to eat the food which is dry. तो लाहे, जैसे जवारी मकई को हम ये करते हैं ना, उसको लाहे कहते हैं. तो such kind of eating of the dry food will help you to overcome that kapha dosha. Ayurvedacharya will be in the better place to explain us this concept. But somewhere such kind of things happen, we do have some changes. Garam pani पीना शुरू कर देते हैं हम. We try to observe that we are not exposing ourselves to cold atmosphere, not even air coming to our ears. तो हम कान भी बंद कर लेते हैं. So what are these observations? These are simple things to be observed when you are going through that kind of imbalance. It is 11:45. I did not realize it. Let us stop here now. The next part and ahead, we will complete it in the next class. So the next class will be the final session for our Hatha Pradipika, and we will wind up there. Okay. We will go ahead and wind up today's session. Sir, please.